You write that segregation in the South was to some degree about separation of the races, but also about establishing and enforcing white supremacy, the domination of blacks. Could you explain that?
Segregation, which becomes entrenched in the South in the early 20th century, particularly after the Plessy versus Ferguson decision gives it a legal go-ahead in 1896, is in some ways a system of separation. There are black institutions in white, black entrances in white, black graveyards in white, drinking fountains. You name it. Every kind of activity has a black and white component. And despite the Supreme Court saying they needed to be separate but equal, they were always separate and unequal. Nonetheless, separation is not the only and perhaps not even the dominant purpose of segregation. Segregation is part of a larger system of racial control, of white supremacy. Blacks and whites came into contact with each other all the time in the South. You couldn't just push them apart. Segregation is part of a system that is meant to ensure that when they do come into contact, it is the whites that hold the power. It goes along with limiting blacks, not allowing them to hold many jobs. Skilled jobs are for whites, unskilled jobs are for blacks. It goes along with taking away the right to vote from blacks, so they have no political power. So it's really part of a system of power in which white supremacy dominates over any kind of black aspirations.